welcome to week 7 of the Love Thy Body Project interview series. Today I am here with Siobhan Louise, who is a self-connection coach, and I'm super excited because I feel that we are very aligned in what we do. All that self-love and making sure women feel good about the skin that they're in is so important, right? And I know that you do a lot of journal therapy too, so we'll talk about that as well, because I feel journaling is powerful as well. And so it's really lovely to chat with you. Would you like to just introduce yourself a little bit more and give me a little bit of a backstory as to how you got into what you do?
Yeah, okay. It's a long story, so I'll not go into all of it. But so my passion is to help women to feel better about themselves, to move from a place of lack and feeling not good enough into a place of love and living a more soul-led life, knowing who they are and owning who they are, and just showing up in their life and in the world as their innate divine expression. That's what I'm really passionate about doing, because I lived in a place of lack for so long. So I think it just seems like a natural calling to help empower women to do that, after doing it for myself and going on my own journey with self-love and healing. Sorry, my eyes keep watering.
Okay.
So I think my story starts, from being a child, and I had quite a traumatic childhood, going through to my teenage years, always feeling that I never fitted in, and experiencing quite a lot of being outcast and being bullied and that kind of thing. That translated into a life of self-loathing and not looking after myself. So I'd drink all the time, take drugs to feel some kind of connection, to go out partying and that kind of thing. But it led to a life of complete disconnection. So throughout my 20s, I was really addicted to alcohol. I had periods of homelessness, debt, all that kind of thing, where you're not looking after yourself, you're not making yourself a priority. And it resulted in, at the age of 28, I had what most people would term as a nervous breakdown, but for me it was definitely a spiritual awakening. And that's where my soul said, no, stop, we need to do something about what's going on, because otherwise you're not going to be around much longer. So I had some kind of spontaneous awakening where it felt like it happened during a meditation. So I went into a meditation and I came out of it a completely different person, where some kind of switch tripped, and I went into this place of real internal chaos and darkness, where I was confronted with all the things that I've been drinking to suppress all them years. Everything came to the surface to be released and be healed. And I just didn't know what to do with it all at that time. It was kind of like, wow, I knew it was something spiritual. So that's why I didn't, go to my doctor, or, I knew it was something I had to work on myself.
Yeah.
So first thing I did was sat down with pen and paper and just let everything flow out of me, and I didn't stop, I just kept writing. This went on for months. So I was in this state for months where I was healing, and I felt quite alone as well within that. Nobody understood what had happened to me. The people that were close to me knew that something wasn't right and something was going on, but they didn't know how to help me, and I didn't know how to communicate to them. So it was just mainly me writing about everything that was coming up for me, and also trying to meet people that I could talk to about the experiences that I was going through. So I took to the internet, and I found some really good support groups and met people that had been through similar things, and that became a big thing for me, that connection with others to forge a support system. And yeah, I think when I started healing, the more and more that I healed, the more space there was for me to be able to share what was going on for me with the people around me, and then to reach people outside of my inner circle, to connect with them and share about, you know, the power of healing and the tools that I used to heal myself. And it just became quite a natural pull to help others to go through this kind of process as well. So that's why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, is because of my own experience. And I think the people that, you know, do this kind of work is usually because they've gone through it themselves. And it's kind of like a pull, isn't it? Like a soul call kind of thing.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. And I think, you know, I was just live in my community, and I was actually just talking about the power of telling your story, and how we tend to think our story isn't worthy of listening to, right? We tend to think that we haven't really got much to say and nobody wants to listen to our story. It's not important. But actually, we like everybody is worthy of telling a story, because we've all been through stuff. We've all come out the other side. We've all had to do things and work on ourselves in some kind of way. We might not be in the right mindset at the moment, like where you were saying you were drinking, and you know, you were taking that spiral where you were going down the wrong path because you didn't really know how to cope with what was going on at that time, and the only thing that got you through it was to kind of numb it out and to party, or mix with like the wrong kind of people, because it just made you feel good in that moment. But then when you got out of that, you're feeling back to how you felt like before you went and took any drugs or got drunk or went out partying. And you get stuck in that cycle, and that awakening moment is so empowering, and it is a spiritual awakening. It's like your body's telling you that you can't do it anymore, but your soul is saying you've got something here, you've got something here to live for. And you kind of find your power. You find that power. And so I was talking to them about how sharing their story and showing up in the community, and just even if it's a live or a post, and that they're writing a little bit about their story, each time they do that, it'll get a little bit easier. Each time they share, it will help to heal them, but it's also going to help somebody else within the community, because somebody's not reaching out, somebody's not ready to reach out, and you doing that, by you sharing that story, it's going to help them to think, actually, do you know what, if she can do this, I can do it too. I've got the power as well. And it is powerful, that journaling, that getting it out. And it's a great way, a great tool to like just stick it all out, like all over that paper, get it out there. And like I do like full moon like rituals and things, where like if there's something that's been bothering me, I write it down, I burn the paper, and I set it off to the universe, and I'm like, okay, that's gone now. And I journal as well, but I also do my gratitudes within a journal. So my journal is all of like positive things that are happening to me as well. I think it is a really powerful tool to write. So yeah, I'm super excited to be chatting with you. What kind of things do you get your clients to do? Like, how do you get them to start journaling?
Well, I think first of all, we have to establish if it's something that they've done before, because quite often a lot of people don't like to write. You know, they left school and they've not wrote since school, so it can be quite a challenge for some people. Others feel that they're not very good at spelling or that kind of thing. So I think first of all, we have to have a chat around accepting what is and not judging yourself. It's that non-judgment of what it is that you're trying to get out of yourself, because I mean, all writing is a release. It's like moving what's in here out there, it's putting it onto paper. So if we can do that without judging ourselves around spelling, around, you know, using the right grammar or finding the right words, even if we can just get it out and be in a place of non-judgment with it, that can be really powerful and enable us to just accept what's coming up, and then also delve deeper. So once we move past that, it allows more flow of, you know, what we're wanting to really get out. So it's just that
Yeah.
stopping point sometimes that can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just sitting with it sometimes, just sitting with your feelings and realizing what you're feeling and what's coming up and what needs to be heard, is sometimes a great starting point as well. So one of the things you can do is just set a timer for say 10 minutes on your phone and just sit and just allow whatever's there to come up and flow, and just be in a place of non-judgment with it can be a really powerful starting point.
Yeah.
There's journaling prompts, so there's different styles of journaling, different things that you can do to help tap into what's going on and the places that you really need to drill down into. So prompts are really good for that, to, you know, just tease out what needs to come to the surface.
Yeah.
And then there's other practices that you can do. So as you say, gratitude, writing lists, they're really great ways of, you know, just being really concise and bullet pointing the things that you're wanting to get out. And you know, letter writing is another good one, unsent letters. You know, you can write letters to yourself, to your future self, to your past self, or to other people. That's a really healing tool, I think, sometimes when, you know, if we're carrying a lot of resentment or hurt about someone in particular, a good way of getting that out in a controlled way is to write it down. And you know, you can really unleash every little thing that you're feeling onto that paper without it being harmful to you or to them. So that can be a really great tool. It's just such a good way, you know, just writing and using words to identify how you really feel it, and letting, just having an outlet for it can be so healing. And there's just so many studies into journaling and how that can help people to heal. It can actually speed up physical healing. So if you've got like a cut or a wound, writing about it can actually speed up the healing of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's so many studies about the benefits of how it can impact us emotionally. So it can lower our stress and our cortisol levels, and the intensity of our emotions. So it's just such a powerful tool for healing.
Yeah.
Specific.
I personally, I mean, I do quite a lot of different things. I've written, like you were just saying about the letters, I've written a future letter as such. So I've gone into my hopes, dreams, and desires, and I've manifested in my you know, visualized that perfect day, the day for me that will be the most perfect. So I've included things in there from the smells, what I'm touching, how it feels, the people that are around me, what I can hear. So all of my senses are being used within the letter. And I start off from where I've woken up in bed till when I go to bed that night, and all of the different things that I would be doing. And actually, I do this task with my clients, and I do it purposely, because a lot of the time we live in a lack mindset, right? We're living in the everything goes wrong. You know, nothing goes right for me. Everything I touch just like is a disaster. Or we wake up in the morning and we stub our toe, and then like I say then the toilet paper, like I've got 5 children, so then there's no toilet paper in the toilet, and then we're late for the bus when we're trying to like get out or whatever, or we're late for our appointments. And if we continue in that spiral, our day's going to continue that way. But if we can live in that mindset of gratitude and of abundance, and that actually the universe is doing these things to support us, everything that happens for a reason, and to find the good in that moment, we can start to then live our life. So if you stub your toe, you've stubbed your toe, right? That's not a big deal. If you go to the toilet paper and there's no toilet paper, then you find something else to use. If you can do it that way, then it works. And I wrote my ideal day down as if that was the now. So I listen to it. So if I'm visualizing. I will pop my headphones in and listen to myself telling me my ideal day. But I also get my clients to, once they've done that, to go through that and highlight absolutely everything that they could start to implement into their day now. Because actually we're living in a world of abundance. We're just not seeing it because we're too used to that lack mindset. So when they can start to go, oh my goodness, I could actually do that today, and they start to highlight, they can see actually they're living in abundance. Their day is actually quite good. And there's only a few things in there that aren't being manifested at the moment. But if they start to live that day, that manifestation will start to happen. And that's the power of writing that down, right? That's a powerful tool because they've written that, and you've realized, there's a realization that actually life isn't too bad. But I've also written, a friend of mine is doing a collaboration book, and it's called Letters to My Ex. And so it doesn't need to be an ex-husband or an ex-partner. It can be the ex version of you, or whatever. And so we've written in there to either ourselves or an ex-partner or to somebody that has caused us pain, or we feel that has caused us pain, to get out our feelings, in a way of healing, and in a way of, it's anonymous, like people don't know who's, like, telling these stories or whatever, but it's a great tool to be able to actually say the things that you want to say, without the hurt, because actually some of those things could be years old, right? And they've caused you pain for years and years and years, and you don't want to be bringing up that pain to that person, because that person's probably maybe going through the same kind of pain because they've realized they've done that to you, or they have no idea that that's happened. And so it's a way of getting that out, verbally, like onto that paper, and just releasing that energies. It's amazing, the tools that you can do, like when you're writing things down, what can happen. It's absolutely amazing.
Definitely. And like you say, with it, you can dip into the past, you can dip into the future. There's timelines dissolve when it comes to you and your page, and you can write about anything that's in the past that's hurt you, and it's just a good outlet, a positive outlet for them stuck emotions, to come to the surface, be released. And you're doing it for you. You're not doing it to attack another person. You're not doing it to make them feel that they've got to take responsibility or anything. It's about you taking responsibility for your own healing, and allowing it to flow out rather than keeping it stuck inside. And I think that's what healing is a lot of the time, is releasing that stuck energy that's within our bodies. We hold it for all them years, and we don't give it a voice, like you say. We don't let it express itself. So I think in doing so, and in writing it down, and taking time sometimes just to find the right words to match the feeling, that's a powerful thing in itself. Giving it
absolutely. It also gives you, like, when you're writing like your feelings for past events and stuff, it also gives you that opportunity to forgive the person or yourself for whatever's happened, and that forgiveness is powerful as well. You don't need to be saying to a person that's hurt you, okay, I forgive you now, because you're not doing it for them. You're forgiving that person, or you're forgiving yourself for you, and so you're giving that forgiveness, right? It's a really good tool. It's an amazing tool. I'm so proud. I'm so excited to be chatting with you. I'm really like but I just think, I think, and it helps you with your energy flow, doesn't it? So once you're getting rid of all that bad energy, that low, deep down, like, energy where you can't raise that vibration, and you're giving yourself that allowance to let the vibrations rise, and to fill your mind and your body and everything else with things that are good for you at the same time.
Definitely. I think when we create that space, we move things out of here onto paper, it creates a space within us, and then we get to choose what we fill that space up with. We don't have to, we can put boundaries in place, and we can choose what we accept into our lives to refill that space. And that's where the power is in doing our healing work, is we're allowing more abundance to come to us, more love to come to us, and I think that it is all about creating that room and creating that space within us to be able to receive as well. I think that's important.
Yeah. We give a lot, don't we? We find it hard to accept and receive, even with compliments. Like within my community, I will get a lot of women say like I feel awkward with a compliment because they're not feeling comfortable in the skin that they're in, but that's allowing you to heal and allowing you to say, actually, I deserve that compliment, because you know what, I'm a badass and I've done this and this and this, and I am awesome. And also you get to help somebody else as well, because that knowledge that you're growing is then helping others. You're helping either family members or your children, or you know, your sister or something, because you're able to then give them that process, that and things might not actually work the same for them. Things might be slightly different because we're all different, but those actual tools, that basis of tools that we give, that toolbox, is actually the most powerful thing that somebody can have. When you've got those tools, when you're having the lowest of days, you can still find something to help pick you right back up.
That's it. Yeah, it's about knowing what raises your vibrations and the things that, you know, you can do for yourself to improve that flow of energy. And it can be, you know, the simple things. For me, it's, you know, changing my bed sheets, or drinking some lemon water, or, you know, just putting a song on, having a good dance and letting all that like frazzled energy within out. You know, it's keeping that motion, isn't it? And
yeah, absolutely.
knowing tools and creating a toolkit is really important. It's like the foundation, isn't it, of, you know, you can revert back to it when you're feeling in them slumps and you're feeling them down days, and you know, it's a good place.
They start to become a little bit less, don't they? You don't quite have so many bad days, because you're realizing that actually as soon as you feel that trigger, you can turn it around. You can start to adapt to the tools that you've learned to the different situations that you're in.
Definitely.
So have you got maybe a number one tip that you would share with people, for if they are just starting out on their journey? Where could they start? What would be a good basis for them to do?
So I think in with yourself all the time throughout your day is about making yourself that number one priority. So if you're having a bad moment, it's checking in and asking yourself, what do I need in this current moment to feel better, to fill my cup? And that was the number one thing that I did when I was first starting out when I was going through my healing crisis. That was the number one thing that I had to keep doing, is consistently checking in with myself numerous times a day to see, you know, what was going on in my body, what I was feeling, and knowing what I needed to carry on that healing. You know, I could have just wrapped myself in a blanket and watched Netflix, which I have done as well, but I think it's about, there's a time and a place for that, and if you get stuck in that cycle of doing that, you're not moving forward and healing. So it could be as simple as, oh, actually I recognise that I need to drink some water right now, or I need to eat a nourishing meal right now. And it's having that open and honest communication with your body and with your soul and with your mind, and seeing it as a whole and listening to it all, knowing what you need in that moment, and giving yourself that, having that self-responsibility to meet your needs.
I think that would also give you the so if you are having a down day and you get into that mindset of, actually, you know, I'm no good at this, I'm not going to get out of this, I can't, no matter what I try to do, nothing's happening. If you can just sit and listen and go, actually, at the moment I just need this time, and it's okay for me to need this time, because I'm me and I'm important, I'm just as important as that person. Then you can get into that mindset that even if you're having a really low day, it's okay to have a low day. It's okay, that's normal, everybody has them. And it's just about taking yourself to do something for you, something that's going to help you in that moment. And that can be in any situation. Like, I suffer from panic attacks, and I suffered really badly with anxiety in my like early 20s. I had to learn tools and techniques to be able to get myself out of that moment. And one of the things that my husband used to do was he would go, you okay? Are you okay? And he would tap me, and I would get short with him and go, no, just because I'm trying to concentrate on my breathing and he's distracting me. So now I learned that actually he's only trying to help me out. He's panicking himself because he's like, oh my goodness, she's having a panic attack. So what I learned was actually I need to take myself off into a room on my own, and I need to start doing an activity that I love. Because if I'm busy in my mind with something that is calming and that I love, then I'm not focusing on my panic attack. And I breathe, I just have a few breaths, try and slow myself down a little bit, pick up a book, start reading, or just do an activity on my own. One thing that I wouldn't be able to do was have a bath. If I had a bath, I would think even more. So I couldn't go up for a bath, but I could read a book. And if my mind was busy, then that was fine, and I could calm myself right down. But I realized very quickly that being surrounded by people in that moment was just not good. It was just making it worse because they were busying around me, and it was just like, and so, yeah, that was a tool that I learned, just to take myself away and do something for myself, something that I needed in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
A brilliant tip. So it's been lovely to speak with you. It has been a pleasure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everybody that I've spoken to within this interview series to drop me their details, and I'm going to pop it underneath in the comments of the YouTube so that people can go find them. So if you've got a YouTube channel or Facebook or anything like that, we can pop them below so they can come and find you. But thank you so much, and have an absolute amazing day. I'm sure that it's a bit overcast here, so I'm not sure where it is like you, but hopefully the sun will come out and we can just chill. But thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for the invitation, and it's been lovely to speak with you, Serena.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.